Look at this. Got eyeshadow all over my shirt. All over it. Great. Eh. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a comparison video that I am super excited to film. It is featuring the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This just came out not too long ago. And the Lottie London Shadow Swatch palette in the shade Rust. When I first purchased this palette, I knew right away that it had some similar shades to the Naked palette, and I don't know, I just thought that it would be really cool to see just how similar they were. Just a little bit of information about the two palettes. The Lottie London one retails for $13, and you can purchase it at Ulta, as well as the Lottie London website, I believe. And then the Naked Heat palette retails for $54, and it is sold in Ulta, Sephora, and I guess the Urban Decay website as well. So there's a bit of a price difference between the two. In terms of packaging, they both have fairly sturdy packaging. Obviously, this Lottie London one is clear and this one is not. They're both good for travel. I will say the Naked Heat one is a bit bulkier, not by much. Like, they're pretty equal slightly. The Lottie London one is slightly smaller, but not by much. Both palettes come with a brush. This is the brush in the Lottie London palette, and this is the brush in the Naked palette. They both are double-ended. I will say that I do prefer the Urban Decay brush just because it's much softer, and the two ends are brushes that I would just tend to use more. This one's a flat shader brush, and this one is a blending one, whereas the Lottie London one kind of has, I guess this is a flat shader brush, but it's a bit small for me. And then the last time I used one of these brushes, I was probably 10. So I will say I definitely prefer this one over this, but to be honest, when I do my makeup, which you'll see in a bit, I don't even use either of them. So that is kind of your personal preference. The shades in both of the palettes do have names, but the ones in the Lottie London one are written on the back, and the ones in the Urban Decay palette are on the palette itself. Oh, and the other thing is this one comes with a mirror. Sorry, mine is a bit of a mess, but this one comes with a mirror while the Lottie London one does not. And I think that's kind of it in terms of specifics of the palettes. I'll just put them side by side so you can get a bit of an idea, but I'm going to swatch all the shades for you. These are the two palettes next to one another so you can get an idea. Let's get into the swatches. Alright, so I've swatched all the colors on my arm, but I realized that my arm does not go in that direction, so this should be fun. Both of the palettes have 12 shades each, and out of the 12, I have 8 of them, so 2/3, that I guess you can consider dupes for one another. I have the 8 on my arm right now, and I believe I have all of the 8 shades on my lid, which you'll see after this because I filmed this in a weird order. I went in the order of the Naked Heat palette. This up here is the Urban Decay lightest shade, and then this one right here is the Lottie London one. So basically the same. I think the Urban Decay one is slightly whiter, I guess. I don't know, but those are them. Then up next we have the really nice matte light color. This one is the Urban Decay one, and this one is the Lottie London one. The Urban Decay one is just a little bit darker, but for the most part you would be able to achieve the same look using either of those colors. now we get into the fun part where I get to turn like this. Oh yeah, and I have my pajama pants on because, you know. Okay, next is the really pretty transition shade. So this one here is the Urban Decay one, and this one is the Lottie London one. The Lottie London one is just slightly warmer than, and a bit lighter, I guess, than the Urban Decay one, but again, not a huge difference. There we go. Next, we have this one right here is the Urban Decay, and then this one right here is the Lottie London one, and those are like almost the same, I feel. I feel on the camera they don't really look as similar. Well, on my arm they look pretty similar. I feel like it's just one side's a little bit lighter than the other, but if you compare the whole thing, they're basically the same. So those were the first 4 shades in the Urban Decay palette. So those 4 are the ones that I just showed you. Then we skip over these 2 and go over to Dirty Talk. And Dirty Talk has almost an exact dupe. I mean, in the Urban Decay palette, it is a bit more like pink, I would say, but it comes very close in the Lottie London palette. Like, it comes very close. And then we skip over 2 more shades and go to the darker matte ones. We have this like purpley toned one, and the Urban Decay one is just a little bit darker than the Lottie London one. And then the final 2 aren't exact dupes, or not even really that close of dupes, but I included them because you would kind of achieve the same look regardless of which one you used. So the darkest matte shades in either palette are this kind of purpley looking one in the Urban Decay one, and then this greeny browny toned color in the Lottie London one. So those are them there. And then these final 2 are the darkest shimmery shades in either palette, and you'll see in a little while those are the ones that I put on my eyelids, and the Lottie London one is just a tad warmer than the Urban Decay one. So you could see this is Urban Decay and this is Lottie London. I hope that part was useful. I just thought I should also mention that in the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, 5 of the shades are shimmery, metallic, whatever you want to call them, and then 7 are matte. While in the Lottie London one, it's reversed, so 7 are shimmery and 5 are matte. So I don't know if that matters to anybody, but I thought that I should share. These are the shades that I didn't show before, that didn't have a match for them. So in the Naked Heat palette, it's these 4, and then in the Lottie London one, it's these 4. I tried to do a little bit better this time around. The thing is, these 4 are very similar in terms of when or in what part of your eye you would use them. So these 2 are the matte ones, and they are different, and don't get me wrong, they're all beautiful, but I feel like these 2 are very similar, and then both of these are gorgeous, and they are different. This one's definitely much more pink, and this one is more of like an orangey brown, but like, I don't know, I feel like these could almost be turned into 2 shades rather than the 4 of them, if that makes any sense. Whereas for the Lottie London palette, these are all incredibly different. So we have this lightest shimmery shade, which there is no shade like this one in the Naked Heat palette. The lightest one is the super light one that you would put like underneath your brow. This one is a really pretty kind of like taupey color, which would look great all over the lid and would really complement those other browns. And then this one is a beautiful goldy orange, and I know a lot of people that reviewed the Naked Heat palette said that they wished that there was like a beautiful bronzy gold, and that's what it was lacking. So I feel like this is kind of what it could have used. And the final shade is this purpley taupey color, which, to be honest, I kind of felt like it didn't really match the palette, but I love the color so much, so I don't mind really. Like I said, these are much more similar to one another than these, and I feel like you still have these in the palette, just a little different. Like the shades are different, and don't get me wrong, they're all beautiful. I'm not trying to say one of the palettes is better than the other. I'm just kind of trying to show you what the differences are and which one would be more valuable, I guess, depending on what are the shades that you like to use. I mean, honestly, this color is gorgeous. Like, you may be buying the palette solely for that color, in which case the Lottie London palette doesn't have that shade. That's kind of just what I wanted to share. So obviously this part is out of order, so sorry about that, but I am going to do my eye makeup using both of the palettes, and I'm going to try to create the same look on both sides, just using one palette on one side and the other palette on the other side. So let's see how that goes. Every time I go from eye to eye, I'm gonna wipe my brush off on a little towel, just so that the shadows from one palette don't transfer to the other eye. This eye is going to be the Naked Heat palette, and then this eye is going to be the Lottie London palette. So let's start off with the crease shade, and I'm going to kind of put this all over the lid. Let me get you a little closer. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I will say that this side is just slightly more pigmented, but if I just go into the Lottie London palette again and kind of build it up a little bit, it looks the same. Alright, those are kind of different colors, but I mean, you do get like a similar look, you know. This one is just a bit warmer than this one. Just gonna blend out any of the harsh edges. Okay, just gonna put on some eyeliner and finish up the lower lash line. And I'm using the ColourPop liner in Mr. Bing. Okay, so this is the finished look using both of the palettes. Again, this is the side with the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, and then this is the side with the Lottie London palette. I just added some mascara and some liquid lip, and this is what we have. So I'll go a little closer up. So I think that even though the Lottie London side is a bit warmer, if you were looking to create kind of this brownish red smoky look, that either palette would do it for you. Granted, I did use the shades in the palettes that I knew were in both palettes, so some of those more red shades, or like the gold in the Lottie London palette, you know, you wouldn't use if you had the other one, if that makes sense. But I mean, for the most part, you can achieve a very similar look using either of the two. The Naked palette did have a bit more fallout, I noticed that, but it also had a bit more pigmentation. Not too much, obviously, because you can kind of see the difference, and they're very similar. It's kind of funny to me that this side is warmer, because I don't know, the Urban Decay palette has more of the red shades, but meanwhile this one came out warmer, so I don't know how that happened. Both palettes applied beautifully, so in terms of the formula, I don't want to say they have equal quality formulas, because obviously you are paying a bit more for the Naked palette than you are for the Lottie London palette, so naturally you're gonna get a better formula, well, you would hope. So I do think that the formula of the Naked Heat shadows are slightly better, but I don't think that it's so much better to where if you didn't want to spend the extra buck that the Lottie London palette wouldn't suffice. Both of these palettes are so beautiful. I was so excited to receive both of them in the mail when I purchased them. I did purchase both of these myself, and I will continue to use both of them. I think that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions for more videos for me to do in the future, or any other comparisons that you'd like me to do, or if you found another dupe for the Naked Heat palette, let me know. I'd love to check them out, so let me know in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!